Yo, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're back. As you can tell by the title, today we're going to be just talking about being single during the holidays. And I'm going to be talking just a little bit about, how dating went for me this year. Not too much. This might be my last video for the year. And I know. Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve a break from YouTube. I need to be more consistent. But I do got a few videos coming at the start of the next year. I'm just going to be banging them out. And if I feel like uploading the last week or next week, I don't know. I just might. I don't know. But in my mind right now, this is probably the last video that I'm going to do this year. But listen, I appreciate all of y'all who've been rocking with me, the supporters, the lurkers, the haters, if I have any, I don't know. But anybody that has pressed like and subscribe, I really appreciate y'all. So yeah, let's get into it. I wanted to do this video because when it comes to the holidays, there is always this, talk of how everybody want to be in matching pajamas. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be in matching PJs. And even without saying, like, it is just a given that the holiday, it is a lot of times it's rough on single people. Like, it's rough on, I'm talking about the single people that won't love. And if you like, I don't care, I don't want to, this video ain't for you. But to the ones of us who's bold enough and courageous and vulnerable enough to admit, yo, I want love, it's hard for us. You know what I'm saying? I saw somebody say this the other day on TikTok. They was just talking about how the holiday season is rougher than Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day is like one day. You know what I'm saying? There's not like 20 songs associated with Valentine's Day, although there are love songs, right? But when it comes to the holiday season, like, you have all of November all the way through like January. You know what I'm saying? You got Christmas, you got Thanksgiving, and then you got New Year's, and you got to, make sure you get your matching PJs, and you got to, make sure, if somebody coming to dinner with you, or are you going to get your New Year's kiss? You got all that stuff to think about, right? One of my friends, she said to me, she was just like, during this time, men are not approaching women because, this is the time that they don't want to buy gifts. You know what I'm saying? And it's so funny because I am actually the opposite. You know what I'm saying? I am actually the opposite when it comes to that sentiment, because number one, I actually like buying gifts. You know what I'm saying? It has been a long time, 12 years to be exact, since I have had somebody for the holiday season or for Christmas to buy something for. So, you know what I'm saying? It would be nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm not complaining. It would be nice, you know what I'm saying, to have a, to have a young lady to buy something for. I think the last time I was actually in a relationship during Christmas time was literally 2013. 2013 was the last time I remember, because that was the time Best Man Holiday had just came out, and I had just met my ex-girlfriend, and I was just so excited to just buy her a gift. And I remember for Christmas she had bought me a gift. What did she buy me? She bought me an Invicta watch, Armani coat, cologne, and a really nice sweater. And that, you know what I'm saying? That was actually the start of me. I remember I used to always wear that, like, Armani cologne. People used to always like, what is that? I'm like, my girlfriend bought me this. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that was the start of that. And that was my first and last Invicta watch. I was so mad when I broke that watch. But anyway, actually, what I will say is my personal opinion. I always feel like that August, September to October time of meeting somebody, I always feel like that is one of the best times, right? Because how I feel is that if you meet somebody, let's say you go through all of the summer being single, right? And then boom, here comes somebody in August. You got all of August, September, and October to get to know them. My mind will automatically be like, okay, so what we doing together for the holiday? You know what I'm saying? Like, where we going to be at? You going to meet my family? Am I going to be you know what I'm saying? And I think that's like the best time to get to know somebody, right before the holidays. But a lot of us have experienced it where we do meet somebody during a time and it don't work and things fall apart right before the holidays. And so now you're going through the worst thing would be is that you going through the holidays, coming off of a fresh new, heartbreak or a fresh new disconnection of somebody that you thought it would work with. Even last year, I remember last year I had met a girl online. We went on a date, and I think it was like probably November, October. And I was just like, yo, like, so what do we, my mind automatically was like, okay, so I wonder what we're going to do, like, I wonder, how this is going to look for us for New Year's and for Christmas. And so then the year before that, 2023, I did a story time about it. I went on a date with this girl, still to this day, the best freaking date I have ever been on. I went on a date with this girl in September 2023, and I was already like, so for the holidays, you know what I'm saying? We locked in, or what we doing, And then, of course, this particular year, I, went on a date with this girl in Charlotte, and me and her discussed holiday plans. Her family is actually here, so she's actually, she actually is coming here for holiday. So we just was like, what does that look like? I'm coming there, and then for the holidays, you're already coming home. We're going to leave, so I have always, just when it comes to that time of like August and October, if you're not intentional about anything else throughout the year, you know what I'm saying? I always feel like that is the perfect time to get to know somebody, to lock in with somebody, because if it do go well, you know what I'm saying? You have that fresh new first the holidays of the first Christmas, the first Thanksgiving, the first New Year's kids. You have all of that to look forward to, right? But sadly, that is not a lot of our, reality. A lot of us have still come to this realization as single people that we may not get the matching pajamas. We may not get the New Year's kiss. And matter of fact, we're going to Thanksgiving alone, or we had just came back from Thanksgiving alone. And let me just say that if you do feel that way, I know it's cliche to say, but it is perfectly normal. It is perfectly normal, whether you're a woman or whether you one of my bros. Like, it is perfectly normal to be in this state of mind that's like, yo, I wish I had somebody for the holiday. I wish I had somebody to spoil you. I wish I had, somebody to give a gift to and to get me a gift. I wish I had somebody to go, I don't know, caroling and go get some hot chocolate with all that stuff. It is perfectly okay. I will forever be the warrior and the champion for single people having the freedom to express their desire without being met with, oh, you're just distracted. Focus on this. Oh, or you just need to love yourself. This is what you need to. Like, I will forever be that champion that will go to war for us single people that say, hey, it's okay for us to in our humanness to say, yo, I want somebody and I don't like where I am. I still go to work. I still shower and bathe. I still take care of my kids. I still, worship God and all of that. But when it comes to singleness during this time, I don't like it. That is okay to say, right? So number one, I will say that it is okay to feel that, and it's okay to acknowledge that. I feel like a lot of people, we talk about the aspect of being single, but one of the things that always reminds me of being single during the holidays is this whole idea of transitions and traditions. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. When you are single, it is kind of normal. When you are single during the year and, you are going about your life, you're going to work, you're going to the gym, of course, you have these moments of feeling like, yo, I have not... It's just me. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's just me. But when you are single during the holidays and you get around your family and you start to go to family gatherings and family parties and all of that, there is this heightened realization of singleness as it relates to the idea that you feel like you really haven't transitioned to anything. Meaning, like, if you come from when you get around your family, you start to look at your family and you're like, man, everybody has grown up, and now you like for Thanksgiving for me, I went to Thanksgiving and I was sitting there and I'm like, wow, all of my young nieces, like, they're all grown in their 20s and now they have kids. And so I remember there was a time where it was just, me and my sister, we didn't have kids. And so we were looking at each other like, who's going to go first? And I always thought, like, who going to have kids, between me and my sister. Now, my sister's 40 and, she had her first kid right before the pandemic. And so, and then you look at, my other sisters, now they are grandparents. And so now they're focused on their grandkids. And then there is me. There is me still at Thanksgiving, and I am still the younger brother. I am still the youngest. Just I am still single, just sitting there looking around like I just came here from a household of one. And you start to realize like everybody is transitioning to their other phase of life. Where I look at my aunt. I was raised by my aunt. I look at my aunt who is now in her 70s. I remember when she was in her 50s, cooking Thanksgiving Day, and it's like everybody is transitioning to what is next. And yes, you can look at your life and say, oh, I've been promoted at work, or I go to the gym, I lost some weight, I don't know, or I now have a little bit of money in my bank account. But we still can't deny that having a partner and having somebody that you love and that loves you unconditionally, a lot of us we still feel a sense of completeness with that. We still feel, I don't want to say an achievement, but we still feel like this is my claim to joy and happiness. You know what I'm saying? It's funny when I see all these people who are on social media and they're like, I don't want to go to holidays. I don't want to go to holidays because, somebody going to ask me if I'm single. Don't ask me about my relationship. Don't ask me about who I'm with. Listen, ask me. You know what I'm saying? And I said this on TikTok a few weeks ago, and I understand that people are like, I don't want to be asked. I don't know, but listen, the other side of that is when they stop asking. The other side of that is when they stop wondering, like, who are you going to bring somebody this year? The other side of that is when they have gotten so used to seeing you not ever be with anybody. When they have gotten so used to you just coming from your own household and everybody has their own family and their immediate family within the family. That's when you want to start to look like, well, so what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like, and you feel like that, hey, I haven't really transitioned. And a lot of times that comes with it could come with an inner like tension, an inner conflict to grow up, or maybe you feel like you're like, maybe I'm having a crisis, or maybe because you feel like everybody around me is transitioning in my family. And every year I am being met with the thought that it's just me. And so with that transition during the holiday of being single, we have the transition, but we also have the traditions. And so as you are single, you're like, you may feel like, I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just keep going around my family. And, we do the same thing every year and it's nice. I'm the only single person, the same traditions. But I think that if you are a single person and you don't have a family right now, this is the perfect time for you to think about while you are transitioning, because you are, this is the perfect time to think about like what type of, not just for the family and the husband and for the wife, but what type of traditions do you want to have for you? And this also include boundaries. One of the things that I look forward to, and it may be small, but I always said like, being single when you have a family that is like so, bent on like traditions, and every year we do this, every year, is you kind of have to get to the point. It is preparation. It is preparation for you to have certain boundaries that you're going to need to have with your family. And what I mean by that, like I am looking forward to the point where I'm able to tell my family like, hey, y'all, so me and my girl, it's Thanksgiving, but I'm, at first we're going to go over her house and then I'm going to come over here, but I can't stay long. I'm looking forward to the time where it's like, it's me and my wife, me and my lady, whether it's my girlfriend, whether it's like, say somebody I'm locked in with, I'm like, hey, y'all, I can't stay long because after this I got to go to her side, or, she going to come over here. Like, I'm not going to lie. I look forward to that. And a lot of times that comes with boundaries. That comes with having to tell people, as you do transition into the next phase of life, you're going to have to tell some people no. That, hell, I can't stay long. Matter of fact, this year we're not coming. We'll come for Thanksgiving, but me and my lady, we can't come for Christmas because we're heading out the country for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? And so this is that perfect time. One of the things that is big on TikTok right now is, especially during Thanksgiving, is this whole talk of in-laws. I don't know if you guys are on in-law talk on TikTok, where a lot of it has to do with like sons and their mothers and their daughters. And so a lot of times I'll watch those stories about how, a lot of times, most of the time, it's the mother of the son, she wants the family to come to her house, or she wants the son to continue a tradition that they used to do when the wife was not there. And so it creates conflict. And so just seeing how the men rise up and have to tell their mom, this is now, my priority now, my kids and my wife, all of that comes into play. as you transition and as you create new traditions and as you create those boundaries. And so that's one of the things that it is very important as you are single, is to create those boundaries, to be able to say no before you have to say no. Like, while it's just you, to, if you don't want to go to Christmas this year, if you don't want to go to Thanksgiving, if you don't want to go to that family member's house, you don't have to. Because when you get that family, you're going to actually have to say, hey, no, we're not doing that. So I think another thing is, that I said it before, being single during this time is to think about traditions. One of the things for me is, like, I always wanted to have a New York Christmas. And so I told somebody that the other day, and I'm like, that's one of the things that, I'm looking forward to. You know what I'm saying? There are families that take cruises for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? And I say it all the time because my family, I call us the cookout family. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by the cookout family is, it's very rare that we're like everybody, let's get together and go travel and do a family trip. We probably won't do that. But when it comes to eating and cookouts and parties and get-togethers, like, that's one thing my family going to do. It's funny because one of my friends, we were talking about, it's just her and her mom and her brother. And she said to me, we were talking about, how we wanted to get married. And she was like, I just want a courthouse wedding. She was like, I just want a courthouse wedding. It's just me, my mom, and my brother. And I told her, I was like, yeah. She was like, Mark, you are not going to be able to do that. She was like, because your family, y'all always doing something. She was like, y'all always cooking, y'all always together, like y'all, and that's why I call us the cookout family. Like, my family would be like, what, you gonna do nah, we need to have a party. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say is, this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time to think about traditions that you might want to continue, that you might want to start, that you might want to skip out on while you are single, while that family is preparing to come. Because, y'all, it's going to change for us. Like, our story is going to change. I look at my friends and I'm like, I just can't even imagine how it is to, be a dad and be excited for your kids' open presents. I don't know nothing about that life, but it is going to happen for us, y'all. It is going to happen for us. But while it is just us, think about the traditions. And then if somebody come along next year, hey, they might can join you. You know what I'm saying? And if your thing is you just want to sit up and watch Christmas movie the day before Christmas, hey, let that be your thing. Let that be your thing. It's so funny because on Thanksgiving, I was going to bake a pound cake. My family loves when I bake a pound cake. And so I was going to make the pound cake the day before, the night before Thanksgiving when I got off work. And so the day before Thanksgiving, all hell broke loose at work. I'm just like, responding to emails. We had a situation I had to take care of. And my coworker was like, Mark, you're not making that cake. She was like, go home and go to sleep. I was like, no, I got to get the ingredients and I got to go get a butt can. She's like, Mark, go home and go to sleep. So I go home and I'm just exhausted. And so the next day I get up on Thanksgiving and I'm just lounging around my house. My sister calls like, yeah, dinner's going to be ready at 3. And it's 1:00 and I'm still laying down. And I thought to myself, and I'm not going to lie, I felt guilty because I was like, you should be up cooking and you should be up there. You should be up playing. You should be. And I thought to myself, like, it's just me. You know what I'm saying? It's just me. Like, this is my life right now. My life is just that I can just wake up, show up, and just be there. You know what I'm saying? This is my life right now. I don't have to run and like, babe, you need something from the store. Next year I might have to, be with my lady or be with her family. But this is my life right now. You know what I'm saying? So I got up and I went to the store. I called my sisters like, hey, I'll bring all the sodas. So I bought like 5 cases of sodas. That's where I'm at right now. So that is fine. You know what I'm saying? So that is fine. But while you're in this stage, be thinking about the traditions. Be thinking about the traditions that you want to create, because your story will change. Your story will change. Listen, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right for us. Listen, I love y'all, and let's just hope that next year is better. Listen, thank y'all for watching this video. Now, if you want me to do an end of the year dating review where I talk about some of the dating experiences from this year, let me know. Just let me know. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me in this video, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.